Welcome back to another episode of North of the Lake Sports Talk Live. This is season 2, episode 9. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. We have a lot to talk about. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm pissed off, y'all. I'm pissed off about those LSU Tigers. I got the Saints game in front of me right now. The Saints are trailing 5-9 to the San Diego Chargers with 13 minutes left in the third quarter. So today we're gonna do a short live because I know everybody wants to watch the rest of this Saints game. So I'm not going to hold y'all long, but we got a lot to get into. We have a lot to get into. But before we get into things, you know we got to show some love to our sponsors, and that is the Insurance Depot. The Insurance Depot, you can get personal insurance, business insurance, health insurance, and life insurance. The number is on the screen. That's 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. That's our people at the Insurance Depot, Mr. Kevin and Miss Reefa Jackson. They also do taxes. Their website is at the bottom corner of the right corner of the screen. That's the Insurance Depot. That's 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. Please give our people at the Insurance Depot a holler and tell them NOTL sent you. Thank you to our sponsors, the Insurance Depot. Let's say thank y'all for tuning in once again. We got a lot to talk about, but we're going to get out of here. Once again, like I mentioned earlier, the Saints is playing right now. The Saints are trailing the San Diego Chargers 5-9. Third quarter, 12 minutes to go. We're going to see how that game plays out, but we're going to get into things. North of the Lake Sports Talk Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's at NOTL Mon. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Shout out to our people over there on Instagram. Share and repost this live. If you like the content, please share and repost it live. If you'd like to support the platform, the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. But we are going to get into Louisiana high school football week 8, starting out. Pope John Paul takes down Independence 45-20. Shout out to Independence on their homecoming. North Lake Christians gets the win over St. Thomas Aquinas 46-2. Amite gets the win on homecoming. Shout out to the Amite Warriors 47-0 over Albany. Franklinton over Pearl River 49-40. Jewel Sumner continues to roll 13-6 over Pine. Bogalusa over Springfield 50-0. Salmon gets the win over Slidell 31-14. Mandeville over Ponchatoula 34-7. Chalmette over Fountain Blue 16-6. Hammond High goes down to Covington 49-13. LaRonja gets the win over Lakeshore 28-21. St. Paul's take care of his business 49-0 over North Shore. Rivalry game, Southern Lab over Kentwood 13-8. We get into college football. Them LSU Tigers let us down 38-23. Louisiana Tech gets the win. Incarnate Word over Southeastern 34-31. Florida A&M comes in and do something dirty to our Southern Jaguars 24-6. Texas A&M over Grambling. Texas Southern over Grambling 24-17. Nichols gets the win. Tulane gets the win over North Texas. And Northwestern State goes down to Lamar 42-10. It's been an interesting week of football, to say the least. But you know, the first thing is first. We got to get into Louisiana high school football week 8. I'm not going to hold y'all long tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my boy up on the stage. Y'all already know we got to bring in Coach Fleet to talk some Louisiana high school football. Coach, man, what's going on, Coach?
How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I could be better. I could be better. I've seen better days. You know, as an LSU fan, a Saints fan, it's been a tough football season, Coach. You know, just for Louisiana, you know, the Saints are injured and just not looking good at all. I got the game playing right in front of me right here, man. But you know, I could be better, man. I could be better, but I'm not gonna complain, man. But you know, we're gonna get into some Louisiana high school football, man. What have you seen over this week?
We see some good football this past Friday, man. Southern Lab and Kentwood played. Amy had their homecoming, man. They able to get the W. We had a tough loss again. The district can we bounce back. Tula had a loss in the district again. So there's a lot of good football. LaRonja had a good game against Lakeshore. So man, a lot of good football, man. There's a lot of W's as well too.
Yeah, shout out to Tangible Hope Football. Shout out to football on the North Shore as well as Louisiana. I have been on record saying Louisiana has the most talented athletes in the world. So we're going to put on for Louisiana, man. But, you know, it has been a good week of football for Louisiana. A lot of North Shore schools, a lot of Tangible schools got the win and took care of business. But you know, we got to get into players of the week, man. And we got a guy that you're very familiar with that comes to train at Miami Fitness and Braylon Taylor, man. Talk about Braylon Taylor as you see him here.
Braylon, man, he been up and down with his injuries this season. Like, see, like he had a coming out party against homecoming. They had 5 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. So my boy went off. I know last year had his first touchdown last year's homecoming. So
Check
Mr. Homecoming had a coming out party today, last night, a couple nights ago.
check out this play right here, man. He takes a screen pass and takes it to the house. We got Louisiana High School football week 9 Tangy player of the week. That's Braylon Taylor. He had 5 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown for the Amy Warriors. Shout out to the Amy Warriors getting the win 47-0 over Albany on their homecoming. They had a good time out there in Amy. Yeah, you know, we seen some of the shout out to y'all, man. Y'all still not quite bigger than Nice homecoming.
I'll start, man.
But we gonna give y'all credit where credit is due. Y'all got the win. Y'all have fun. Y'all represent for y'all city. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Amy Warriors, man. We're not gonna go there, but shout out to Amy. Please don't come at me on Facebook, y'all. Please don't come. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. But another guy, man, you talking about Rylan James from LaRondra, man. Let's check out this run. This is a very, very talented run here from Rylan James. As you see, you know, he picks a hole, man, and he is gone. That's real speed right there. He had a guy.
Oh yeah,
and he is. Out. He is out of here. That's a Rylan James. Let's watch that again. I usually don't do this, but let's bring that back to the beginning and watch Rylan James here, man. Take this all the way to the house. Shout out to Rylan James and the LaRondra Wolves, man. You know, picks a hole, finds it, and he is gone, man. I mean, he takes it all the way to the house on the night. 159 yards, 3 touchdowns for the LaRondra Wolves, and that's Rylan James, player of the week, man. Talk about Rylan James. You know, he was one of the guys, you know, before the season that you know, guys to watch coming into the season that we talked about on the first episode, man. So talk about Rylan James and LaRondra and what you're seeing from LaRondra, coach.
LaRondra is starting to coming to their own now. They're 5-3. They're picking up in district. But I'm going to Rylan James. He's a sophomore. I think Brandon Taylor's a sophomore as well. It's another sophomore, Rylan James. Man, see how he's like, I've been hearing about his speed, man. You see on that play, he displayed it right there. So I think he had 159 yards and 3 touchdowns. So man, let's say come playoff season, watch him, man.
Yeah, watch out for the LaRondra Wolves. They are 5-3 on the season. They are 2-0 in district, second in their district. So you know the sky's the limit for the LaRondra Wolves. Hopefully, they can keep progressing and getting better. You know, as we start to end getting near the end of the season, heading into playoff time, man. But I got some teams that impressed as well, coach. I got the Amy Warriors right now. Amy, they just got the big win. We just discussed it was their homecoming. And they get the win against Albany 47-0. Right now, Amy is 6-2 on the season, 3-0. They are second in their district, and pretty much since their Hammer High loss, they've been on the run, man. Talk about the Amy Warriors.
The Amy Warriors, man. They start off kind of slow losses between Franklin and Hammer. But they picking up in district time. They starting to come into their own now. As you can see, like they got about 4 guys. They take 5 or 6 guys, I say. They got Franklin Morgan. They got number 4, number 1. They got Braylon. Man, they look ready, man, for playoff time. They got a game against Sumner coming up. They got Springfield next, but the district championship is going to be between them and Sumner coming up in a few weeks. So watch out for that game.
I'm gonna try to make that Sumner game. I hope it's not the same night as Hammer High Ponchatoula.
I hope not.
I hope it's not, but they've been playing some good football. Like I said, Amy had shaken back since early in the season, and they had went on a run. I even said on the platform, I said, when Hammond and Amy play, Hammond High is a 5A school, and Amy is a respectful 3A school. And I said, just give it some time. I'm pretty sure they're gonna find a way as they usually do. And Amy is rolling right now, man. But another team I got, you just mentioned the Sumner Cowboys, man. 13-6 over Pine. 7-1 on the season, 3-0 in district, and they are first in their district right now, man. What are you saying from Sumner? Do you think Sumner can keep this up, and what's to come for the Sumner Cowboys, bro?
The Sumner, man, they're a physical team, man. They play real physical. So, with them, they've been really beating teams up, man, with the run game all this season, playing good defense and beating them up with the run game. They run a wing T version of the offense. So they putting up points and they playing physical. So they'll be towards the end. I say the championship game going to be between them and they meet more of a fast-paced team, finesse team. But Southern's they're a ground team, they're physical. So we're gonna see which game gonna be superior come a couple weeks.
Hey, it's gonna be interesting to see Sumner versus Amy. Right down the road from each other. Always a rivalry game, always physical. Sumner the last couple of years has been consistent, even going back to last season. They put no points and they got guys that can run the football. That's always a recipe for success, man. So we're gonna see what the Sumner Cowboys has in store. But they looking like maybe one of the most consistent teams in Tangipahoa Hope Parish right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they've been going to playoffs in the last 6-8 years. I say they've been consistent, man. So they've been proving they can play some football up there.
Pretty consistent, man. And another school, LaRondra Wolves, 28-21 over Lakeshore. They got to win Friday night. They are 5-3 on the season, 2-0 in district. They are second in their district, man. We just talked about Ryland James and what he's doing. Ryland James had 159 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Got that track speed. Can pick a hole and pretty much be gone, man. So shout out to LaRondra Wolves. What you got to say about LaRondra?
LaRondra tough too, man. They started off they had some games early, so they put on the defense was letting up a lot of points and stuff, and the offense had to score to keep them in the game. But now they starting to come together on both sides of the ball. Now they got a quarterback coach. I'm saying he's playing some good football, not turning the ball over, pretty good at that. They say they getting the ball to Ryan James a lot more now, so they found their identity.
Shout out to the LaRondra Wolves, 5-3 on the season, 2-0. 28-21 over Lakeshore Friday night. Shout out to LaRondra Wolves. Shout out to Tangi football in general. It was a lot of good football play. We just mentioned Amy, Sumner, LaRondra, and even Kentwood. I got Kentwood as the game of the week. Kentwood versus Southern Lab. We all know that's been a traditional rivalry, but Kentwood did go down to Southern Lab 13-8, man. Talk about that rivalry and what it means to the state of Louisiana and just for us championships. Kentwood I think is right behind John Curtis in the state when it comes to championships. So Southern Lab got to be somewhere in that conversation. I didn't look this up, but two historical schools produce historical talent. You got the Trey Palmers coming out of Kentwood, and then you have what's our guy that played at LSU, came out of Southern Lab? Chad Jones. Chad Jones is one of my all-time favorite LSU Tigers. One of the most phenomenal athletes I ever seen. He also was a pitcher on that LSU championship team.
Yeah, I remember.
I believe in 2009, LSU won the national championship. The College World Series in 2009. I do believe it was 2009. And Chad Jones closed that last game out. I think he even got the last strike that ended that series.
I remember that. Yeah.
Chad Jones is one of the best athletes I've ever seen. I got a lot of heat on Twitter for saying that Chad Jones is one of my top athletes that ever. Everybody was talking about Fortnite and all these guys, but
man, they understand where you're coming from. You talking about him being a 2-sport athlete. Like he was around that time, like you say, he closed the game in the final. Was it the championship or the final?
It was the
semifinals.
It was the final. It was the final game of the College World Series. I believe he closed that game for LSU. But I know he played meaningful time. And we hear nephew in the background. What's up, nephew? We hear you over there, man.
They run through the house, man.
That's a future tangible athlete. Coming down the line, man. But shout out to Kentwood. What have you seen anything for Kentwood this year?
Oh man, that receiver they got number 6, man. They've been pretty good, man. They got a young team, but Southern Lab been up and down. They're playing some tough teams. So Southern Lab finally got a chance to play another 1A school. They've been playing 5A school and everything in Southern Lab. I think they lost Denham Springs week before last. I think they went up north and played somebody too and lost. But so they finally got a chance to play a 1A school like them. They put it on Kentwood, man.
They put it on them, man. So shout out to the Kentwood Kangaroos. Still a lot more football to be played. But coach, I'm gonna try to get you out of here. But before I get you out of here, I gotta show you my top 5 for college football.
Let me see.
I'm about to get that going for you right here, man. This is what I got. I got Texas coming in at 5. Texas did escape Vanderbilt 27-24. Penn State escaped Wisconsin as well. They got the win, so I can't take Penn State out of this. And I was thinking about replacing Ohio State with Penn State, but Ohio State struggled a little bit against Nebraska.
Yeah.
So I got Georgia at 3, I got Miami at 2, and I got Oregon at 1. What would you change about this list, Coach? How does my top 5 look for you?
I put Miami at 3. I put Georgia at 2. But one thing I like about this, I like Penn State number. Penn State is showing they can play. Man, I think Penn State going to beat Ohio State this week coming up.
So you saying you will put Georgia at 2. And well, see, last week I did have Georgia at 2 and I had Miami at 3. But the reason why I put Miami at 2 is because Cam Ward seems like he's getting better. But it seems like, well, it doesn't even seem like it. He is the best player in the country right now. And
Oh, for sure.
And Miami's schedule kind of lines up for them to make some noise in the college football playoffs. So that's why I had Miami leapfrog Georgia. Georgia had a bye week this week. So that's kind of why I put Georgia at 3 and put Miami at 2, because I think Miami just continues to get better. And Cam Ward is that dude, bro. I mean, it ain't no doubt about it. You know, Cam Ward is that dude for Miami, and they're getting better, and their schedule kind of dictates me putting them there, because I don't think they really have anybody credible. Or had they played? Yeah, I don't think they played Florida yet, have they? But Florida's not Florida, the Florida that we grew up on. You know what I'm saying?
They don't play none of it. But I'm gonna talk about Penn State and Miami. This is what I'm gonna say about. I'm gonna go with Miami first. I ain't gonna say too much about them until I see them play Clemson in that ACC championship game in North Carolina. So when they come out, 'cause that's a good defense. Those guys are a pretty good defense. So I feel like when they succeed that game, I say that'll be number 2 team. I put them ahead of Georgia. But Georgia still got a tough schedule too, so they got to see a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, I think by the end of the season, that's going to be looking different. I think the whole top 4 will be looking different by the end of the season.
I agree with you, man. But it's a lot to see, man. What you think about LSU, bro? Before I get you out here, tell me about them LSU Tigers, because as soon as you get off here, I'm about to go in. I need to go and get your take.
Man,
LSU Tigers out here.
Man, they weren't ready for that quarterback, man. I don't know the dude ain't number 10, but man, when they put him in the second half, LSU ain't have an answer. I'm also saying they got cocky. They got cocky from the first. Yeah, they got Marcel Reed. But they got cocky, bro. They got it. Looked like USC game again, except they had a running quarterback out the side of the field. But I think they got cocky early with their 17-7 lead, and shit. A&M made some adjustments. They weren't ready for some adjustments, man, and it showed.
And that's gonna be my main point going into this next segment, man. I mean, just stay tuned for this LSU.
I'll be watching.
I got a lot to say about the LSU Tigers, man. But I'm gonna try to keep it short today because the Saints is playing right now, but the Saints is down 16-5, 7 minutes in the third quarter to the Los Angeles Chargers. So we're gonna see how this game plays out. So I'm gonna try to get out of here so I can watch the rest of this Saints game. But Coach, before I get you out of here, man, tell us about 9Man Fitness. Tell the athletes why they should come to you and what you got going on right now, Coach.
Oh man, 9Man Fitness, we've been doing this for at least, I want to say, since 2018 now, man. A lot of athletes came there that's playing college football now. So man, come on and come and see me, man. So come get ready for this season. Also, man, the season is about to end in about 2 weeks for some schools, and playoffs approaching, man. Whenever it's over, man, we start my training program back throughout the week. Right now, I'm doing weekend training, but when the season over with, I'll be doing my weekly training again with the athletes. So come see me after that.
Holler at your boy. So if y'all school, if you know your school's not gonna make the playoffs, and I'm not taking a shot at you right now. if you know your school's not gonna make the playoffs, come. You know, the sooner you get in with a trainer like Coach Fleet, the better you can be. The more time that you got. So if you know that your school's not gonna make the playoffs, come holler at Coach Fleet, and he gonna take care of you. But Coach, I'm gonna get you out of here, man, so I can go and run through these LSU Tigers and get up out of here, because I'm trying to get up out of here kind of early tonight, man. But I appreciate you joining us, Coach, and we're gonna talk about it next week, man.
Always, man. Have fun, man. Do your thing. Let them have it.
Got you, man. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man.
That was Coach Fleet of 9Man Fitness. We thank Coach Fleet for joining the program and talking Louisiana high school football each and every week. Please give Coach Fleet a follow on his Instagram. I think that's Coach Fleet on Instagram. Shout out to our boy. But before we get into them LSU Tigers, we got to give our sponsors some more love. And that's the Insurance Depot at 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. Please go holler at my boy, Mr. Kevin and Miss Reva Jackson. They do personal insurance, business insurance, health insurance, and even life insurance. You need that life insurance. Even if you think you're going to live forever, get that life insurance. They also do taxes. That's at 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. That's Mr. Kevin and Miss Reva Jackson. That's personal insurance, business insurance, health insurance, and life insurance. I have all my insurance through the Insurance Depot. Tell them NOTL sent you. That's the Insurance Depot. Please give them a call at 985-618-3222. Shout out to our sponsors. That's the Insurance Depot, man. But I got to get into what's been pissing me off all day long ever since last night. It's been on my mind all night long. I woke up this morning with it on my mind, and it's the LSU Tigers. I'm going to take a deep breath before I get into these LSU Tigers, okay? So LSU gets out to a 17-7 lead over Texas A&M. And, you know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, LSU got this. LSU has firm control over this game. LSU's defense comes out playing well. LSU's offense comes out clicking on all cylinders. And it's like, okay, we got this. LSU is about to be first place in the SEC. LSU is about to beat the hell out of Texas A&M. I almost said something else, but I'm trying to keep it PG on this program. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is what I've been waiting on. This is what I've been waiting on from Brian Kelly. LSU is getting ready to take that next step. But guess what? We let them off the hook. We let them off the hook. I got to go Dennis Green. If some of y'all might be too young to remember Dennis Green, the black coach for the Cardinals back in the day. If you want to crown them, then you crown them. But LSU let them off the hook, man. LSU let Texas A&M off the hook, and it's starting to become a trend with LSU and Brian Kelly. It's LSU loses games that they have no business losing. And if you watch the first half of this LSU versus Texas A&M game, then you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. There's no way LSU is supposed to lose this game when they get out to a 17-7 lead. And this is my criticism. You know, Garrett Nussmeier played well. A lot of people want to blame Garrett Nussmeier for this loss. He did have 3 interceptions late in the game that kind of dictated the game. But when you up 17-7 against an SEC opponent in Texas A&M, you gotta close them out. You gotta close them out. And my criticism is not so much of Garrett Nussmeier and these players, because I see a lot of people on Facebook want to say Garrett Nussmeier should have done this. Garrett Nussmeier should run. Well, first of all, Garrett Nussmeier is not Jaden Daniels. I want everybody to understand something that's watching this. Garrett Nussmeier is not Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, it was a generational talent. He's still doing great things in Washington right now. Last I checked, he was up on Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears, having a fantastic season in the NFL. So it just wasn't a one-hit wonder, okay? He's a Heisman winner. Garrett Nussmeier is not as talented as Jaden Daniels. I think his arm talent is just as good, if not better, than Jaden Daniels. Garrett Nussmeier played well enough in the first half to beat Texas A&M. But as I've been saying on this platform all season long, LSU offense is too vanilla and too one-dimensional. And I said last week, I said when LSU faces a formidable defense, they are going to struggle because they cannot run the football. LSU has not been able to run the football all season, and I've been saying it on this platform. So everybody want to blame Garrett Nussmeier, but if a defense knows you're going to line up and throw the ball every play, then why not play cover 4? Why not play quarters defense? Why not play cover 3? And I'm not sure what Texas A&M did X's and O's wise. I'm not that guy to sit here and tell you what they did. I didn't watch the film, but I watched it live. And I knew just by the way that game was shaping up. LSU goes out there and misses 2 field goals, okay? 2 field goals that could have made a difference in this game. And I'm getting ready to talk about this field goal, the botch snap on the 3rd field goal that LSU kicked. In that moment, LSU was up 17-7, right? And I'm thinking in my head, I said, you know what? LSU has firm control of this game. The defense is playing well. Brian Kelly has to go for this. You already missed 2 field goals up until this point. Why not go for it and to put the game away? But that's not what Brian Kelly did. That's not what Joe Sloan did, who's LSU's offensive coordinator. They continued to kick the field goal. And the kicker was already struggling. His confidence was already gone. You up 10 points against an SEC opponent who and this game dictates who will be number 1 in the SEC. You got to put your balls on the line, Brian Kelly. You have to put your balls on the line. You was too conservative in that moment. Had LSU went for it on 4th down, converted it, and even at least took a little more time off the clock. But let's say they got a touchdown. LSU's up 24-7. I'm not sure Texas A&M could have came back from that deficit how well LSU's defense was playing. LSU's defense was playing well enough to win the game, but if you keep going 3 and out, if you keep missing field goals, that's demoralizing to a defense. And then LSU the offense didn't take any time off the clock because they was throwing the football so much. When you throw the football and you have incompletions, it stops the clock. So once LSU got up to a 17-7 lead, they should have been trying to shorten the game. But that's not what LSU did. They continued to throw the ball where they lead. Okay, I understand you don't want to get too conservative, but you got to shorten the game. I saw the way that this game was playing out, that Texas A&M was going to come back and at least make it interesting. But who would have known that they beat LSU 38-23 after being down 17-7? This is on Brian Kelly. I don't care. Everybody wants to blame Garrett Nussmeier right now for this LSU loss. This is on Brian Kelly and that coaching staff, okay? I've been telling y'all all season that this offense is too vanilla, too one-dimensional. Even if you can't run the ball with your running backs, get a jet sweep. Do something, or even a bubble screen to kind of to be an extension of the passing game. I'm sorry, of the running game. Do a jet sweep, do a tunnel screen, do a bubble screen. I haven't seen LSU do any of that. And I even seen Brian Kelly in an interview say, well, the reason why Garrett Nussmeier completion percentage is down because we're not doing short passes, we're not doing screen passes. Well, that's exactly what you need to be doing if you can't run the football. Because some of those short passes can be an extension of the running game. This loss is on Brian Kelly. I don't want to see anybody blaming Garrett Nussmeier, even though he did turn the ball over late in the game. I understand why you're frustrated at Garrett Nussmeier, but it has to be better execution on offense and play calling, okay? You're not getting the ball in your playmakers' hands nearly enough. And I've been saying it right here on this platform. I said LSU is going to face a defense that is going to be trouble for them because they don't have an identity on offense. They don't run the ball. They don't even throw the ball that well, even though Garrett Nussmeier statistically on the year is having a good season, but they don't throw it consistently enough. A lot of the plays are throw it up and a receiver is well covered and they're not able to get open. There's no scheme. Like I said, last year, going back to last year, LSU had a play where they had a slot fade where they would get Malik Neighbors one-on-one with a safety and kind of, just beat that safety or beat that corner, whatever coverage dictated it, whether it was a corner or receiver, but they got open. And I think LSU is missing Mike Denbrock this year. Mike Denbrock is at Notre Dame right now because Brian Kelly didn't want to lose Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton, okay? And you let a Heisman-winning offensive coordinator leave Baton Rouge to go to Notre Dame because you didn't want to lose a quarterback coach. And I understand that Joe Sloan, he could be a good coach or whatever you might want to say, but you let a guy who led Jaden Daniels to a Heisman Trophy leave Baton Rouge and go to Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is looking pretty good right now. They blew Army out the water. Army or Navy, I can't remember which military school it was, but they blew them out the water. So you let Mike Denbrock leave Baton Rouge, and now LSU has no identity on offense. They cannot run the ball to save their lives, okay? LSU, believe it or not, listen to this thing. LSU had 24 yards rushing last night against Texas A&M. That's unacceptable. So what? Y'all want Garrett Nussmeier to put a Superman cape on? Because that's what he's going to have to do if he don't have a running game. I can't blame Garrett Nussmeier when the team knows that the pass is coming. Texas A&M knew all night that LSU was going to throw the football. So guess what they did? They started playing coverage. Guess what Garrett Nussmeier started doing? Throwing interceptions because he had nowhere to go with the ball. And then the pass rush started getting there as well. Because now you got the defensive linemen just pinning their ears back, getting to the passer because they know the pass is coming because LSU completely abandoned the run game. And LSU's offensive coordinator didn't do anything to mix it up. I didn't see a running back screen. I didn't see a receiver screen. I didn't see anything to slow that pass rush down. I didn't see anything to take some pressure off Garrett Nussmeier. I didn't see anything to give Garrett Nussmeier an easy throw. You can't put this on Garrett Nussmeier. I've been saying it on this platform that LSU was going to run into a team that played well enough defense to where this was not going to work. You cannot. I mean, if you want to call yourself an air raid team, just air raid, spread them out. But that's not what LSU is doing. LSU has tight ends on the field, okay? So they're not a true air raid team. So how are you going to run an air raid offense when that's not your identity? That's not what your personnel dictates, is an air raid offense. But that's exactly what LSU is doing. Garrett Nussmeier on the night threw 50 passes. Garrett Nussmeier was 25 of 50, 405 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Okay. And I think these interceptions was out of complete desperation because everything was on Garrett Nussmeier last night against Texas A&M. You cannot put this on this kid, man. He is not Jaden Daniels. Everybody say, well, he should run. He should run. He's not Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels spoiled LSU fans for 2 years. I'm sorry, y'all. Garrett Nussmeier is not Jaden Daniels. I know y'all want him to run. I want him to take off sometimes, but he's not about to rush for 100 yards a game like Jaden Daniels. It's not going to happen. The man threw for 405 yards, okay? That's enough to win the game. 2 touchdowns. He did have 3 interceptions. He did have 3 turnovers that changed this game. But if you go back and watch this game, it's not so much on him as it is the scheme for LSU. If you have no running game, the defense is just going to play coverage, okay? And LSU's receivers, you got to put this on. LSU's receivers did not play elite football. I seen Kyron Lacey drop balls. I seen, I think Xavier Thomas dropped a couple balls. Even Mason Taylor dropped a touchdown, who that's unusual for Mason Taylor. So if you're going to blame Garrett Nussmeier, you got to blame a lot more people. Garrett Nussmeier on the year. Let me give you Garrett Nussmeier's stats on the year. And let me tell you, I even saw some people saying crazy things like bench Garrett Nussmeier. Well, who you going to put in? Who you going to put in to run the ball? If you want somebody to run the ball at quarterback, I don't think LSU has anybody on their roster that can run the ball at the quarterback position. Name somebody, leave it in the comment, and change my mind. But on the season, Garrett Nussmeier has thrown for 2,600 yards, 20 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. I will take that. And QBR, he has 81.4 QBR on the season. That's 13th in the country. And for all my new LSU fans, to all my Generation Z fans, y'all don't remember what LSU was before Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. Y'all don't remember Anthony Jennings. Y'all don't remember Brandon Harris. Y'all don't remember Danny Etlin. These guys can throw a rock in the ocean. And y'all saying bench Garrett Nussmeier, who has 20 touchdowns on the season, 9 interceptions, 13th in QBR? And y'all want to blame this man? When Brian Kelly continues to lose in big games, in games that he should not lose, in games to where his team is the superior team, and y'all want to blame Garrett Nussmeier? Let's go back to the USC game. LSU has no reason to lose to USC. If LSU doesn't lose to USC, then they have a clear shot to the college football playoff. Now, a 2-loss LSU team still can get to the college football playoff. It's just going to be a little bit tougher. The road is a little more narrow than it was had you not lost to USC. And that's a game LSU had no reason to lose. That USC game. They was the better team. They got outcoached by Lincoln Riley, who is proved to be a superior coach. And this is starting to become a trend. This is starting to become a trend. And that leads me into my next topic. Who's to blame for LSU's second half meltdown? Number 1 on my list is Brian Kelly because it starts with your head coach. You can say, well, the players didn't play. Well, Garrett Nussmeier didn't do this. Well, the field goal kicker didn't do this. But who's preparing them? Whose scheme is it that they're playing? Who's the motivator? I've been saying for all year, going back to, if you watch that USC game, Brian Kelly gets outcoached. If you go back to the Florida State games, 2 games in a row where LSU, well, actually 3 years in a row, Brian Kelly lost the season opener, but 2 years in a row, he did it to Florida State. Both years, LSU probably was the better team. Both years, they probably had no business losing to those teams, but they did, okay? Losing the season opener in this day and age in college football is almost impossible to come back from. Impossible, even in a 12-team playoff now. So Y'all want to blame Garrett Nussmeier, but Garrett Nussmeier is a player, okay? He is running a system that is designed by the coaching staff and Joe Sloan. I've been saying all year that this offense looks vanilla. It looks predictable. There's no type of matchup problems that they're creating. It's kind of just Kyron Lacey making fantastic catches, Aaron Anderson taking slants to the house. That's all it pretty much is. That's you can't say what's LSU's identity on. Somebody leave in a comment what's LSU's identity on offense. I don't think you can because nobody knows. What is LSU trying to do on offense? I don't think you can answer that question. Everybody wants to blame Garrett Nussmeier, but it starts at the head. Brian Kelly is an offensive-minded head coach. And for the last 3 seasons, outside, if you take away Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels was offense by himself, you would never see that again. Only player that's close to that this season right now is Cam Ward. He's playing for Miami. That's the closest thing I see to Jaden Daniels this year in college football. But Jaden Daniels was an anomaly. If you take Jaden Daniels out of those offenses under Brian Kelly, then what did you really have? It had even and Jaden Daniels' first year at LSU, the offense still struggled. It was just Jaden Daniels making plays with his legs. So when you talk about who's to blame, number one on my list is Brian Kelly. It has to be Brian Kelly. Okay. I've seen in many games he just get out coached, even against lesser teams. I even seen that Nichols game earlier this year, got out coached. Even though Nichols didn't beat LSU, they sure did made it interesting up until the fourth quarter. The third or fourth quarter, Nichols made that game interesting against LSU. So when you say who's to blame, you got to start the coaches, man. Y'all can blame Garrett Nussmeier all you want to. I know he threw 3 interceptions, but it was almost out of desperation, trying to make something happen. And the momentum, that offense, it just wasn't moving. You didn't have a run game. You didn't throw a screen pass or anything to try to open things up to get Garrett Nussmeier more comfortable once the momentum swifted into Texas A&M favor. So y'all can blame Garrett Nussmeier all you want to. He's not Jaden Daniels. He is not going to run the ball like Jaden Daniels. I'm sorry, y'all. He is not Jaden Daniels. But let me know what y'all think in the chat. I'm going with Brian Kelly. Number 2 is Joe Sloan. Joe Sloan is LSU's offensive coordinator, and it just doesn't look elite. Brian Kelly doesn't look like an elite coach, and Joe Sloan doesn't look like an elite offensive coordinator. An elite offensive coordinator does not let a team come back from 17-7. You keep your foot on the gas and you find a way to run the ball. Like I talked about earlier, whether it's an extension of the run game with screens or any type of rollouts or anything to get the assimilation of a run game. That's what the elite offensive coordinators did. If you're a Saints fan and you watch Sean Payton was a master at that. Sean Payton knew how, if the running game wasn't working for the Saints, Sean Payton knew how to make an extension of the run game, whether it was a screen pass, whether it was something to get whether it was Taysom Hill, something. Go Wildcat, do something. Okay, you got to be able to run the football to win games. That's why Mike Leach, God bless him, all the dead and Mike Leach, but that's why Mike Leach never could take that next step. Is because when he faced a good defense with a pass rush with some DBs that can cover, it was always a problem. He can go 8-4, but he was never going to win a championship. And that's what pretty much LSU has turned into, an air raid offense. They just got some tight ends on the field. So if you got to blame somebody, you got to keep it at the guy who's making $10 million a year, not the guy that's a quarterback who's taking all his advice from the head coach and the offensive coordinator and Joe Sloan. Don't blame the kids. And I say kids, but I'm 31. So at 21, I felt like I was a kid, okay? So don't blame the players. Blame the guy who's putting the players in position to make these plays. Aaron Anderson isn't getting the ball enough. Kyron Lacey isn't getting the ball enough. Xavier Thomas, who is a return specialist, isn't getting the ball enough. Xavier Thomas, at some point, get him a jet sweep. He's a guy who could take it to the house. That can be an extension of the run game. There is no reason why LSU should have rushed for 24 yards against an SEC opponent. You can't win a championship like that. Impossible, man. Come on, cut it out. Don't sit here and call Garrett Nussmeier out and you're not gonna call Brian Kelly out or Joe Sloan or this offensive line who's supposed to be one of the best in the country. If you're the best in the country, you gotta be able to run the football. You have to be able to run the football. But I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. I know y'all want to watch this Saints game, even though it's not going too good for the Saints. The Saints are down right now, 16-8, fourth quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter against the San Diego Chargers. But I gotta give you my biggest takeaway from this LSU game. Biggest takeaway is LSU is good enough to win. LSU is good enough to be in the college football playoff, but it comes down to execution. It comes down to X's and O's. I've been saying it. I've been beating it in all the time on this platform. LSU has to get a running game. LSU has to be more creative in the offense. It's so vanilla. I haven't seen a trick play. I haven't seen anything to get the players in space. LSU has talented players, whether you talk about Xavier Thomas, whether you talk about Aaron Anderson, Kyron Lacey, or even Chris Hilton made a comeback from injury in this game. You have guys that can make plays. You have speed on the field. You're not using that speed. I want to see a jet sweep. I want to see some bubble screens. Do something to get an extension of the running game. 4 to 5 yards on first down is a blessing. Now you got 2nd and 5. Now you can run the ball and get to a 3rd and short. And now the playbook opens up. But that's not what LSU was doing. Everybody wants to blame Garrett Nussmeier, but Garrett Nussmeier threw 50 passes in this game. Okay? LSU on the night, 24 rushing yards. Okay? They ran the ball 23 times to 50 times throwing the ball. Okay? That's not balanced football. You got to do something to take the pressure off Garrett Nussmeier. If he feels like he has to play hero football, this is what's going to happen. He's going to throw 3 interceptions. This is scheme. Garrett Nussmeier is a fantastic quarterback. 20 touchdowns on the year, 9 interceptions, and some LSU Tiger fans is talking about benching this man because he won't run for 5 yards. He's not Jaden Daniels. He's not a running quarterback. That's not his game. The coaches have to put him in position to let his game speak for itself. And that's not what they are doing. Okay? You had 24 rushing yards on the night. 1 yard a carry. I want everybody that's watching this right now to understand something. LSU averaged 1 yard a carry. And y'all want to blame this on Garrett Nussmeier. Come on, man. Y'all want to blame this on Garrett Nussmeier, who threw for 400 yards despite the 3 interceptions. Garrett Nussmeier shouldn't have been in a position in that game to where he had to throw 3 interceptions. That's scheme. That's coaching. He was playing hero ball all second half because A&M got the momentum. Now, did he kind of buckle under pressure? Yes, you can make that argument. But if I know I can't hand it to my running back and my running back get 5 yards, then what the hell you think I'm supposed to do? Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, but like I said, I thought LSU, one of my biggest takeaways is I think these LSU receivers kind of let Garrett Nussmeier down that time. Even though some of the stats are good, I seen some drop balls from Kyron Lacey. I think I even seen Chris Hilton maybe drop one. I can't remember. Somebody else dropped one. But this is LSU. This is wide receiver you. You got to make these plays, LSU receivers. Even though Aaron Anderson had 3 catches, 126 yards, Kyron Lacey 5 for 106. They had a pretty good game overall, but this is LSU. This is wide receiver you with the likes of Odell Beckham coming through here, Jarvis Landry, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. We can go on and on about all the receivers that came through LSU. So the receivers got to step up and make plays, big time catches. And that's what we need from these LSU receivers. That's one of my biggest takeaways. They look good, but they didn't look elite. Kyron Lacey didn't look elite. Aaron Anderson had moments where he looked elite, especially on that 70-yard touchdown slant they took to the house. That's a player you got to get the ball to more. You have to get the ball to Aaron Anderson. Throw him a screen pass out there. Something. Get an extension of the running game. I feel like I said the extension of the running game about 10 times already. But that's what you have to do to win football games in the SEC. You have to be able to have some running game. But everybody wants to blame it on Garrett Nussmeier, who threw the ball 50 times. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Come on. But that's one of my biggest takeaways from this LSU game. And Garrett Nussmeier, to be fair, I have to critique Garrett Nussmeier. He has to stop throwing these bonehead interceptions. He looked great most of the game. Then he just throws some stuff. It's like, why, man? Especially the one he threw across his body to Aaron Anderson that was picked off. I believe that was the second interception, or it might have been the first one. I can't remember, but that one was head scratching. It was head scratching. So you can't put all the blame on Brian Kelly, but you got to get these guys ready to play. I thought Garrett Nussmeier played well enough to win early in this game when they was up 17-7. You can't blow leads like this and expect to win championships. And this comes directly on the coaching staff. I'm sorry. Garrett Nussmeier could have played better. Yes, he could have managed those turnovers, but this is on the coaching staff. Okay. We've seen this time and time again where these coaches get outcoached. Okay. That's all I'm saying. And Mike Elko showed once again that he is a coach that can win games in the SEC. Once they brought in old boy, what's the brother's name? Once they brought in Marcel Reed, things changed. This game was blew open by Marcel Reed. They went at first, LSU was dealing with Connor Webman, kind of a guy that sits in the pocket. They brought in Marcel Reed, and it was never the same. Dual threat quarterback, he ended up having 62 yards. And also A&M rushed for 242. So the defense has to take accountability for that as well. You can't allow a team to run for 242 yards and win a football game. You can't allow that to happen. Okay. The passing game wasn't anything to brag about for Texas A&M, but the difference in this game was A&M was able to run it for 242 yards. LSU was able to run it for 24. That's my takeaway from this game. And that's not on Garrett Nussmeier. I'm sorry, y'all. Garrett Nussmeier is not Jaden Daniels. He is not going to take off and run. He may can run for 5 yards, maybe even a first down, but he's not going to run for 20. He's not going to run for 30. That's not his skill set. You can't ask a guy to do things outside of his skill set. That's my biggest takeaway. I don't want to hold you guys too long. I know the Saints are playing right now, so I'm going to try to get us out of here on this tape. LSU has a bye week but plays Alabama. Kalen DeBoer in the Alabama Crimson Tide coming to Death Valley in 2 weeks. It's going to be a showdown as it always is. And my thing is with this game is Alabama looks human for the first time in 10 to 15 years since Nick Saban retired. This is a game that LSU has to win. They must win. They cannot afford to lose. So this is going to come down to execution. And this is going to be a game that I think is going to be a make-or-break game for LSU. It's going to be a make-or-break game for Brian Kelly in the Brian Kelly era. Because, however, I think if LSU goes down in this game, because Alabama, let's face it, Alabama is 6-2 on the year. They lost to Vanderbilt, and they also lost to Tennessee. So this is a very beatable Alabama team. So this is a game that Brian Kelly has to win because I do think LSU is the better team going into this game. Right now, Miro is having a pretty decent season, but he has struggled. He has 1,700 yards passing on the season, 13 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. You already know what he can do with his legs. Garrett Nussmeier is very comparable in those numbers, 2,200 yards. Actually, Garrett Nussmeier's stats is a little higher than that now. Let me check that right quick. I said it earlier, but Garrett Nussmeier has 2,600 yards on the season, 20 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So this is a game. This is a game that LSU must win. I think LSU does have the better quarterback as far as throwing the ball. I mean, we all know the dual threat that Jalen Miro is, but I think Garrett Nussmeier has that advantage at quarterback. I also think LSU may have the advantage at running back with Caden Durham if they can get him the ball, if they can get him in some type of crease, some type of screen pass, some type of something to be able to run the football or at least get those touches. I think LSU should be running the ball better considering how good this offensive line is talked about being. This is one of the top offensive lines in the country coming into this season. So it's going to be interesting to see Alabama does have a problem at wide receiver. And I mean a good problem And Ryan Williams, the sensational freshman, he already had 600 yards on the season, 7 touchdowns compared to Kyron Lacy's. Kyron Lacy somewhere around that. I think Kyron Lacy is 600 yards. Yes, Kyron Lacy 600 yards, 6 touchdowns on the season. So very comparable numbers at the receiver position, LSU versus Alabama. So I think this game will come down to who can run the football. LSU has not been able to, so that's a concern for LSU. But I do think LSU is good enough to win this game. I think the defense is playing well enough to win this game against Alabama. Alabama has struggled of late, but that's my take on that. I'm not going to keep you too long on that. Thank y'all. Thank everybody for joining the platform today. I know the Saints are playing, so I know a lot of people are watching that. I actually have the Saints right here in front of me. The Saints are down 19-8 to the Los Angeles Chargers with 8 minutes left in the game. The Saints got to make something happen here. So that's why I didn't want to go live too long today, so I can get y'all out of here. So I'm going to get right into North of the Lake, top 5 ranking. This is my college football rankings right now. And right now I have Texas coming in at 5, Penn State coming in at 4. I got Georgia at number 3. I got Miami at 2, and I got Oregon coming in at number 1. This is North of the Lake's top 5 college football ranking. Last week I had Georgia coming in at number 2. I got Miami at 2 this week because Cam Ward with another impressive performance. If you've been watching the platform, I've been saying all year that Cam Ward is the best player in college football. So with that being said, I put Miami in at number 2 because they got that dude. They got that guy. They got that guy that can go out there and win a game single-handedly. He just needs everybody else to be on board. That's the type of talent Cam Ward has. So you see, I got Oregon at number 1. Oregon has been getting better ever since they struggled with Boise State in the beginning of the season. They are undefeated. So you got to keep Oregon at 1. Penn State with an impressive win against Wisconsin. They are firm at my number 4 spot. And Texas, I believe Texas, Texas actually struggled with Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt is a very comparable team this year. They're not the Vanderbilt of old. So that's why I got Texas still in my top 5. So that's my North of the Lake top 5. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it today. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what you think in the chat. Even after the live, if you didn't get to comment during the live, let me know what you think after the live in the comments. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and also on YouTube. Let me know what you think. I will get back to you on that. And, it got me thinking, who is the best team in the country this year? I think the best team in the country right now, truly, I want to say Georgia. And I know you're thinking, well, man, you got Oregon ranked at number 1. Well, let me tell you why I think Georgia is the best team in the country right now. And it's because of Kirby Smart. It's because of Georgia has been here before. The rest of these teams on this list hasn't necessarily been there before. You can argue Texas. Texas was in the college football playoff last year, but Georgia has a coach that's coached it, has won championships. So that's why I got to get an edge to Georgia right now, because I think Georgia is going to continue to get better. And I know I got Oregon at number 1, but I haven't seen enough consistency from Oregon. I know they did take down Ohio State, but I want to see what Oregon continues to do. So I would say Georgia. It's a toss-up between Georgia and Oregon for me, the best teams in the country. But we're going to see how the rest of this year play off. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about my top 5. I'm not going to hold y'all long tonight. But let me know what y'all think in the chat. Right now, I am watching the Saints versus the Chargers game, and I know y'all are probably watching it as well. The Saints are kind of running out of hope here a little bit. Saints are down 11 points to the San Diego Chargers, and that's 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Saints does have the ball. They have made a quarterback change, and they are going with Jake Hayner right now. 7 minutes left in the game. The New Orleans Saints are down 19-8. We're getting inside of 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. Saints just got a procedure penalty on 3rd and 5. If you are watching the Saints game, let me know what y'all think in the chat about that. I'm getting ready to sign out here in a minute, but I did want to talk about the Saints. Still look very injured. Still look very untalented, for the lack of a better term. Saints just don't look good this year, but we'll talk about that next week, and we'll see how the Saints close this game out. But I want to thank y'all for joining North of the Lake Sports Talk Live for another episode. This was episode 9 of season 2. I thank y'all for y'all continued support. Everybody that's watching on Instagram, let me give y'all a shout out right now. I got Boss Man Jeremiah. Shout out to Boss Man Jeremiah. I think he out there in Sumner. Shout out to the Sumner Cowboys. I got Bryce T55. I got Five-Star Twin in here. I got Casey Bryan. Shout out to Casey Bryan. I got Soul 1K in the chat. I got One Ways in the chat. Shout out to Real B West. Shout out to my boy. Shout out to Tisha. Shout out to Tawana. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Instagram. But I am about to get ready to get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for joining for another week of North of the Lake Sports Talk Live. I will be back next Sunday at 5 o'clock. So y'all check me out. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. But thank y'all for another week. I'm signing out. Y'all have a good rest of y'all week. Y'all have a blessed week. Y'all have a prosperous week. But I'm out.